Hi, Carolyn. I think we are live. I'm just logging into my phone here just to double check
Okay.
so that we're just not talking and, to ourselves, right? Let's see here. Okay, I don't see it on our Facebook. Let me check on my browser here. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, we are live. We are live. Awesome. So welcome, Carolyn. Everybody, this is Carolynne Melnyk. She is a very special friend of mine. I've known her for quite a while now. And I wanted to, we're doing this new theme where you, as in one of the members in the group, is going to be featured as the star of the week. So Carolyn was one of actually the person that was at the top of the list. So she was #1 in engagement in the last 30 days. So I thought, you know what? Why not give her the opportunity to be the star of the week? Because she's been putting a lot of time and energy into the group and providing a lot of feedback to me. So I wanted to feature Carolyn as the star of the week. So congratulations, Carolyn. You're our first star of the week.
Thank you. My honor.
Yeah. If anybody is watching us, please let us know in the comments below if you can hear us well or if our audio is okay. Because I'm using this new software that I've never used before. I mean, it's not a new software, but it's a new software for me. So let us know in the comments if you can hear us.
Watching us, please let us know.
Okay, that was me.
In the comments below if you can hear us well.
Sorry. Audio... Trying to mute. There we go. Okay. Hi, Dawn. Thanks for hopping on the live. So Dawn is live with us. Dawn, let us know if you can hear us or if you need me to up your volume. Carolyn, so I'm going to get Carolyn to talk because I think my volume is okay. But let's see if they can hear you, Carolyn. So Carolyn, give us a little bit of info about you. Give us a little bit of an intro and let us know what you do and how you ended up here in this group.
Wow. I am a Spring Forest Qigong practitioner. I'm certified as a group leader. I'm also certified as a trainer, and I have achieved level 3 in this Spring Forest Qigong level of things, which means that I'm a healer as well. And how did I end up in this group? Well, I think it goes back to that first time that you and I met in person. And we had this connection, and I've been waiting. You kept saying it was going to come on. It was going to come on. So I've been waiting in the wings, waiting for you to get up and running. And when you did, I just jumped on board because I really connect with you. I connect with your philosophy, your story, and I'm just happy to be here. I think it's going to be a great group. You've already provided us with so much value, so I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be here as I'm still building my business, so all those little techie tips and all the rest of it are just exactly what I need.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here. And Carolyn's actually bought some of her friends with her into the group. So lots of activity happening. So thank you, Carolyn. That's really great. So tell us a little bit more about Qigong and what it means. What do you mean when you say you're a level 3 practitioner? What does that look like? I guess for somebody who doesn't know what that means.
Well, I'll have to start a little bit about what is Qigong. Qigong is an ancient Chinese healing modality is what it is. It's all forms of Qigong technically are medical Qigong. And there's thousands of different kinds of Qigong all around the world. And so each of the masters tends to put their own little flavor on Qigong. Spring Forest Qigong, for example, was created by Master Chuni Lin. And he calls it Spring Forest Qigong because he believes in that we're all a healer, that every single one of us is a healer, and all we have to do is move our energy, work with our energy, because this is an energy modality. Move the energy, clear the blockages, and our body will know what to do. So, all 7 billion people on this planet they can heal themselves. They are healers. And Spring Forest Qigong, again, going back to the title, spring meaning beginning, rejuvenation, and forest meaning that one tree doesn't make a forest. You need many, many, many people. And it's like any other group. And Master Lin believes that, his vision is for a healer in every family and a world without suffering and pain. And so all of us that sort of practice Spring Forest Qigong are spreading the word. And in that way, we're creating a forest of Qigong, and we're creating a forest of healers and people who practice but share.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Qigong basically, it's a very, very, very simple modality. It's not difficult, but it's something. It's a modality that once you learn it, you don't need someone else to do it for you. Mm-hmm. So unlike many other modalities that are out there that you need a practitioner, you need somebody out there. So all I am doing is sharing what I know of Qigong that I've learned from Master Lin and from the other masters within Spring Forest Qigong. And I'm out there just helping others to access that same thing. And we do it through breathing. We do it through gentle movements. We do it through focused attention or visualization, and we do it through sound. So putting all those elements together and bringing them together under the umbrella or with the groundwork, I should say, of something called the 5-element theory, which is basically the whole philosophy and background to almost all of ancient traditional Chinese medicine. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a bit of a summary. What I love about Spring Forest Qigong is that it's easy, it's effortless. It doesn't take a lifetime to learn. Within a few practices, you can get a lot of the fundamentals. And even though it looks easy and you don't think you're doing anything, you're actually getting a huge amount of benefit. It's very effective. It's very efficient. In a nutshell.
So you mentioned 5 elements or mm-hmm. 5 elements. Can you explain what those are?
Okay, the 5-element theory, basically, in Chinese medicine, we have 5 elements. So you have wood, you have fire, you have metal, you have water, and now all of a sudden I'm going to have a brain freeze here. Earth. And each of those elements has a lot of characteristics within it. So, for example, we're heading into winter, mm-hmm. and winter comes under the element of water.
Right.
So there's winter and there's water. There's an organ that is, or couple of organ systems that are part of it. So we're working with, when we go into winter, the kidney meridians or the kidney channels are on duty. The kidney channels represent the breasts in the women, as well as the bladder, as well as the reproductive system. There's a color that's associated with it, and this one is indigo, very dark, dark blue, going towards black. There are different emotions that are part of it. So we have sort of the negative, and I don't like to use positive and negative because neither of them are really never positive or negative. They're just energy. Mm-hmm. But sort of what we would consider a negative is fear. And then on the positive side of it is gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So when the more we offer gratitude, the less we live in fear. The more balanced we begin, and we actually, the more gratitude we offer, the more we open up those meridians and those channels that are associated with the kidney
Wow.
system. So it's all interconnected, and each each element also has a sound.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're doing and then there's certain, Master Lin has created a 5-element practice. So when we're practicing the 5 elements, so at certain points, if you want to focus on one or the other, you can do the movement, and you can also do the sound.
Very, very interesting. And when you were talking about, the like when you were explaining about the forest, and I was thinking, wow, no wonder we connected, because like obviously what I'm doing with the group is pretty much in alignment with that. Like
Mm-hmm.
trying to create that sense of community, trying to help people um, within that community to kind of grow, right? So you're nurturing the forest,
Yes.
right? And by doing so, you're not just helping one tree, you're helping everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting.
The other part of that too is, if you go into biology and into what biologists are discovering is that trees do communicate with each other in the
Right,
forest.
right.
When I was spending time in the Amazon, there's a tree that actually moves to get the sunlight. And so,
Yeah.
and yet there's this whole connection, and it helps other trees to get sunlight as well within
Isn't
the
that
tree.
amazing? I don't know if it was a documentary I was watching or if it was somebody that I was talking to, but I remember learning about how, like, some trees, well, like in the wintertime, some trees are dormant, right? They're not dead, even though we think they're dead.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how the trees that are green and are exposed to the sunlight are transferring nutrients to these trees that are appearing as if they're dead,
Yes.
keeping them alive. So I just think that is amazing.
And that's just representative of our communities. We all need
Right.
each other.
Absolutely.
We can't do it by ourselves.
Absolutely. And that's what kind of has driven me. I think that's obviously that's the basis for this group, or the idea that came for this group. So that's why I said it's interesting how we can connected, and kind of you just jump in, and you're very active in this group. So I really appreciate that support that you're giving me.
I believe in the community. I believe in what you're doing as well. So I mean, it's two ways. It's you're helping me and I'm helping you, and to me that's what's really important.
Mm-hmm,
And,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes I think in our Western world we forget about it a little bit.
Right.
When I lived overseas, and when I lived in some of these rural villages in Africa and whatnot, there was a sense of community. We did help each other. You always, there was reciprocity, where you help me today and I help you tomorrow, and there's this connection, this really deep connection. I mean, I miss the markets, where you walk through the markets, they know your name, they know what you're doing. You can't go shopping in 5 minutes. You got to spend like 25 minutes, because everybody wants to greet you. And
Yeah.
we're missing some of that in our Western world.
Mm-hmm. I think it's coming back, but at the same time, it's not. Where there is that sense of, okay, we need to spend so much time, prioritizing and optimizing everything, that we forget to just connect. Like one of the things that I'm really trying to bring awareness through this group is really connecting with people, without having that idea of, okay, I need to connect with this person only if they're going to bring me benefit, right? Yeah. And that really turns me off, to be very honest with you. Like when somebody approaches me and they're like, if I say to them, hey, let's connect, let's chat, I want to get to know you. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, what do you want out of the meeting? I'm like, I don't want anything out of the meeting. Yeah. I want to get to know you. And if something comes out of that meeting, fantastic. And if we don't jive, then we just go our separate ways, right? Yeah. But I think with how everything is so systematized, people want to make sure that they're spending their time in the best way. And I get that. But at the same time, you're losing connection with what is important, that human connection. Right?
Every connection starts I think this goes into business as well, that we're too many businesses are focused on the sell. They're focused on the sale. They're focused on again, what you're saying, what you can get from it. Whereas we are losing that heart connection, that human touch, that human communication. That I want to get to know you first as a person. I mean, I do that with my clients. I in my practice groups, I have many practice groups, and I'm concerned about them as individuals. First and foremost.
Right.
And if they stay in my group, perfect. And if they don't stay in my group, they don't. And I think that's the so important that we make that connection. For whatever. And not everybody connects with everybody else, and that's perfectly all right.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I think I've learned through life too. Like, people come into our lives for a reason, and whatever that reason is, it's not for me to judge, right? And if I can help them, great. If they can, if there's a lesson in it for me that I can learn from them, awesome. And if there's nothing in common, then that's okay too, And one of the things that I want to kind of get you to talk about a little bit more is, I know you've traveled the world a lot. So give us some insight as to how that has helped you come to where you are right now, and basically your journey to recognize and find Qigong in that journey.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I spent a long time, like almost 25, almost 30 years wandering the globe as an international educator. I've been a teacher all my life, and I'm still teaching. When I left sort of the high school, per se, traditional career, I was at a loss. I was looking for something, I guess, is what I wanted, best way to put it. And I ended up letting go of most of my life, most of my possessions, and I took off to Peru. And I wasn't even sure what I was going to do. And I ended up spending 5 years in Peru, and I worked with some shamans in Peru, but I spent a lot of time in Machu Picchu, and I led spiritual tours. That's one of the things. And I started to feel that I was opening my heart. I was opening the true me. I was opening up to to what was really important to me. This connection to the divine, this connection to my real self, my honest self, and not this person with a happy smile face and totally miserable inside, because for a lot of my years, that's what I was. And then I had this little voice. I've had this little voice in my head all my life. And this little voice kept saying, you have to go back to Canada. You have to go back to Canada. I resisted a little bit, and then I eventually came back to Canada. When I got back to Canada, very shortly afterwards, my older sister, quite a bit older than I, she could have been my mother, was diagnosed with cancer. And because I wasn't working and kind of a little bit not sure what to do, she asked if I would stay with her, and I did. And it was a blessing. It was a gift, this journey that I took with her until she departed. But it was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. It opened up so many other things. And a few years after she left, again, I had this little voice in my head. It's the same little voice that told me to go overseas when I was 16. This little voice in my head that kept saying Qigong, 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 Qigong. And I'm going, I don't even know what Qigong is. I haven't got a clue. I know it's some Chinese something or other. And I Googled like everybody else. Like, what do? You Google. I Googled and I looked at it and I went, nah, I'm not, that's not me. And I was getting a lot of Tai Chi stuff. I go, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But the voice was persistent. It wouldn't go away. And so eventually, through a series of synchronicities, a conversation with a friend, and I realized that there's a Qigong master here in Edmonton. And I did I did some training with him. but he's very, very, very medical. An amazing, amazing, amazing individual. But it just I didn't resonate as deeply. And then another couple of conversations, and someone said, well, there's someone giving a talk on Spring Forest Qigong. Why don't you check it out? And so I went, and it just was right. It was like, yes, this is exactly, because I've always, through my own journey of finding myself, through my own journey of really investigating my thinking, really investigating my own. I was doing Qigong and didn't even realize it way back when. All this inner search that I did on my own, and I spent so many years away from Canada. I was not part of the self-help kind of thing. It was all kind of intuitive. Mm-hmm. So then, when I found Spring Forest Qigong, it was like, it's easy. I always knew it was easy. I always knew that it was, and now I have a way to help others to realize that it's easy. So that's kind of how I got to Spring Forest Qigong, and that's how it's just been, like, I've been only practicing for about 3.5 years, and yet I have this immense following in Edmonton. I have 6 different Qigong classes. I do workshops, and it's all come relatively easy, which for me means I'm on the right road.
Yes, yes. So we have a question from somebody who's watching. Oh, it's Dawn. Dawn says, how did you generate income while you were out adventuring?
I was an international. I worked in international schools.
Oh, right. Okay, so you were teaching while you were traveling. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Dawn. If there's anybody else watching, please let us know if you have questions for Carolynne. If you are catching the replay, same thing. You can still ask questions in the comments, and she will respond to you. She's pretty active on the group, so she will get back to you even if it's a question on the replay. So Carolynne, tell me a little bit about what are your plans for the future? How can folks in the group, maybe how can they help you in terms of maybe, expanding your business, maybe reaching out to other people in the community? What do you expect from the group?
Wow.
How can we help you, basically?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm stepping again out of my comfort zone totally. Mm-hmm. I have a vision for an online Qigong practice. I have a vision for helping people online with Qigong. And so I'm looking for probably some technical help. Mm-hmm. Different ways of doing things, because again, like I say, like I'm again stepping off, out into the unknown, which is, I'm quite comfortable in the unknown, but so something of that nature. But also, if I send out some surveys or start asking some questions, I really, really would like your response, because that will help me to know what I can provide for you. With Qigong, it is a physical practice, but there's a lot of also theory. There's tons of information that I can provide. And so, if anybody wants to, they can go on into my website, which is livinglifeinjoy.com. So it's livinglifeinjoy.com. And they can sign up for my newsletter and then get little tips, Qigong tips. About once a month, I send something out with different information. And I'm not sure what else, but that's kind of where I'm going.
They can also follow you on Facebook, right?
Definitely. And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn, yes.
Yeah.
I was actually showing my son because he was away, right? He was away out of the country, and he got back. So I was showing him that exercise. Well, I don't want to call it an exercise. That practice that you had done very recently about re-energizing yourself in the mornings.
Yeah.
I think that was what it was. And he was just laughing at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" Because you're kind of bouncing.
Yeah, yeah,
And I said, "No, try this. Like it totally works."
yeah,
And
yeah.
he just had a blast watching me do it. But yeah, so one of the things Carolynne does is she shares these little tips on her Facebook page that one of the tips that I picked up and I've been using. So basically, this exercise, you explain to us what it does exactly, because I don't want to misinterpret it.
Okay, well, it's just a gentle bouncing, and you bounce just with your hands down by your side to start with, and then you bounce with your hands above your head. And what this does is it opens up all 12 of your energy meridians and energizes them. If you do it first thing in the morning, because you've been sleeping and you've been sort of in a resting position, this helps to energize and open them. It also helps your immune system to get a boost. It helps all the fluids within your body, so your endocrine system, your adrenals get moving, your lymph system opens up and gets working. It also helps. It can help to balance the chi within your body, so that you're not all in your head. You start to move down, and the great thing is it gets you to focus inside your body.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that, and when you got your hands up above your head, kind of like this, and your wrist or something. There's been studies right now done by I can't remember if it's the Mayo Clinic or one of the big clinics in the United States, showing that to open your lungs, and people who the study was done with people who had lung cancer and were in remission. If they spent time with their hands above their head and their hands kind of flopping like this, they stayed in remission way, way, way longer than people who didn't do that. So it's actually showing very positive health benefits. And so this is really, really important, because we've got 12 meridians that start, or 6 meridians that begin in our hands and 6 in our feet. So when we're doing this, we're opening up all the channels, and it's the whole connection, the flowing of the energy. You can do this. I do it all the time. I do it at work. I get into a little bit of a boost during the day. I go into the ladies' washroom and I stand there and I just do my Qigong.
Yeah, it's funny to watch somebody else do it, but like totally, it does make a difference. Yes. Like for myself, I've never been a morning person. Yeah. Like literally, I'm like, you don't want to talk to me in the morning. That's how I was. I've changed over the years because my husband has been like, you are not very, very approachable in the mornings.
I totally relate to that.
Yeah, but like this has really, it's almost like, I mean, I started doing like jumping jacks when I first woke up in the morning, just to kind of get the blood rushing, and but this is so much more gentle. You're not, there's no impact on your knees because you're not jumping up and down. And
jarring your spine.
Sorry?
You're not jarring your spine.
Yes, exactly. And I think Bonnie here is commenting. She's saying, I have been bouncing too. Simple yet very effective. Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Okay, so Carolynne, anything else you want to add before we sign out?
All I can say is go ahead and follow me. Check out I usually do my wellness tips on a Wednesday. So check out my live videos on a Wednesday. I give various tips, and some like this, like the bouncing, but other ones as well. Some of it's talking, some of it's practical things. They're all practical in the end, but also follow me on Facebook, either under Carolynne Melnyk or Living Life in Joy, because I have the business site as well. follow me on LinkedIn, go onto my website and sign up for my newsletter and get some more tips, different tips from there. And I don't flood people's mailboxes. I'm a little slow on sending out emails, so usually once a month if you're lucky. Anyway, I think that's about it. I really look forward to sharing with you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Any questions, anything, please contact me. Let me know.
Yes, and for all of those of you that do watch this, connect with Carolynne. Set up a Zoom intro call and connect with her. She's got a wealth of experience, and she's a joy to talk to. So definitely connect with her. Set up a call and chat with her. Carolynne, send me the link to your newsletter, and then what I'll do is I will post the link to all of your profiles on the on this video, so people can click on that and then just follow you.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining, Carolynne, and we'll have to chat about who you're going to nominate for the Star of the Week next week.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for having me as your first star. I feel honored, and
thank you.
I look forward to just carrying on and making this community a really strong, successful community. And let's build a forest.
Yes, let's build a forest. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your help as well, Carolynne. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're signing off, folks. If you are catching the replay, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.